I just wanted to do a little follow-up video on the iLoom. So I'm going to have to be very careful how I move around, because if I move something wrong, the camera is just going to start going like this. Sorry for that movement. Anyway, so you'll see when I have to move something. So I decided when I first got this that I was going to do a specific pattern, and I'm getting to it. Here we go. This is the one that I was going to do. I don't know if you can see that. It's called Sunset Sky. Let me move it closer to you. Sunset Sky. That's the pattern that I was going to do. Well, I decided it was too hard, and I cut the strands, and of course, I think on the third or fourth row, one of the strands broke off completely. So I did a sample one of the easiest ones that they have available in here. Let me see if I can find that one. I started one that had like literally only two strands, folded in half. It looked like it was using four strands because it was folded in half. That was this one, Candy Stripe. I had done like, I don't know, 2 inches worth of bracelet, and one of the strands snapped. Not completely, like only half of the strand broke. And so I decided to work on that other one, and then more. Sorry, and then more of that. The strands broke off, so I decided, okay, this isn't going to work for me, because it's the material that they provided for me that was not working, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to use DMC floss, and just to let you know how much I have, that's just a pile on top, and then I have this much. So I have a lot of, I mean, I don't have a ton, but I have a lot of embroidery floss. So I'm just going to use what I have. So I decided to do the Snow White pattern because somebody actually wanted that one. And this is what it looks like. This is a 4-star pattern, so it's not like even. So it doesn't look like the pattern on the screen, but I mean, it's still, I think I did a good job for being 4 stars and for being out of practice. And I love the buttons. The only problem with the buttons is that, no, I'm sorry, I don't have a problem with the buttons. The problem that I have is this pattern, I set the program or the app to 7.5 inches. This is not 7.5 inches. I did it from start to finish on the according to the app, and this is what I got. This is, let me reach for my measuring tape. I mean, I thought I set it to 7.5 inches because that's what my wrist is, and the person, well, my wrist is actually 8.5, but the person that wanted this is 7.5. So I'm going to count the loop, and it's still only 6.25. So it's not really 7.5 inches. And I'm including the loop. If I don't include the loop, it's less than 6 inches. It's 5.75. So I don't know if it's me, if I did it too tight, or if I pushed the wrong thing when I created the pattern. I mean, when I started working on the pattern, but this is not 7.5 inches. So what I did was I did 2 braids and put them both through the 2 holes in the shank, and she can, you know, she can put a knot in where when it's, you know, at the length that she wants. So there's going to be a little bit of braid, but you'll mostly see this on your wrist. So what I'm working on now is one of the patterns that came in that midnight case that I bought. It's called Thunderbolt. And I'll bring it closer. I actually love this pattern. And so far, this is where I've gotten. And I think it looks pretty good. It reminds me of the new show Black Lightning or The Flash. I mean, either one works for me. It looks really cool. And I actually have done a pattern called Rainbow Lightning. Yeah, I have it right here, all packaged and ready to go. But this one is not as wide. It has all the rainbow colors, but it's just not as wide. I think this is probably 8 strands. I don't know, but this app doesn't have this pattern, and I don't know how to make these kind of patterns. So, yeah, I'm not seeing I'm not seeing any resemblance to this. This is done differently. This has 10 strands. This probably had 8 strands. But anyway, I love the pattern. I love the way it looks. And by the way, I have not broken one strand. I did not break one strand in this one, and I have not broken one strand in this one. So it's not me. It's not me pulling too hard on the string. It's the string. So if anyone is concerned on my last video that maybe I'm just pulling too hard or being too rough with the string, that's not it. That's far from it. It's the string is horrible that they provide. And I have all this stuff, but the problem is it's just not good material. It's not, I just don't think it's as strong as a DMC, or I don't know if this is this is Iris, but this is a different brand. Let's see, craft thread. Let's see. I think these came in a bag, but it's basically DMC. Here we go. Or loops and thread. Yeah, this is DMC. So I think that this, even this off-brand. Oh, this is loops and threads. Where is that? These Iris, it's the same stuff as DMC. Loops and threads and DMC, these are ones that I really prefer. This came in a pack of ombre colors or whatever they're called. So, but it's not me. It's the strands. It's the string that they gave me. So, and this stuff it's better quality and it's shiny. I don't think that the bracelet itself is shiny, but not all of these are shiny. But yeah, I think that it's better if you're going to be making a bracelet. It's better to use DMC or loops and threads than use this stuff. This stuff is horrible. And I just want to say again, I love the idea of buttons. I just think that's the best thing ever. And as you can see, my Nook works perfectly in here. So I don't have any problem or issue with my Nook. There's a opening on the side here for a plug, but my Nook charger doesn't fit in there. So that's obviously meant for an iPad because it's an iLoom, so it's meant for an iPad. But any tablet that's 10 inches will work. I'm sure even an 8-inch tablet will work. The only problem, it's so tight up against the edge here. My volume usually drops. It'll pop up on the screen and it'll drop all the way down. And sometimes if I push it too hard up against there, it'll literally turn off the tablet, like as if I'm pushing and holding the button. It'll just shut off. So, but you know, I just push the end button and it turns back on. So, but otherwise, I don't have a problem with this thing. I love the app. I love the way it looks on here. Let me see. Continue. See, I told you if I move this thing, it'll start or it'll move the camera. And see, this is the way I prefer seeing the instructions line by line. That's all I need. And I'm going to move the camera when I do this. So just give me a second. So I just bring the pattern up like that and then start working on it. It's easier if it's up here, because if it's down here, it starts pulling. It's tighter up here. And so anyway, so this is the row that I'm on now, and you can see my progress here. Here's a Lumi coming up. I paid $5 for I think it was 12,000 Lumis, because I wanted to buy 2 of those 6-packs of patterns. I want to have extra patterns. I want to show in my Etsy shop what patterns I'm capable of making, or not capable, but what patterns I have to be able to make, so people can choose what pattern they want and then I can make it. As far as giving them the option of size, I don't think that that's really an option, because it only gives me a certain amount. And this is about the size that I was making before anyway, maybe a little bit longer, but this seems about right. So I think that even if you have a really small wrist, this is going to fit. And if you have a big wrist like me, you can deal with having a little bit of a braid. So I think this is just fine for most people. So anyway, this is the follow-up to the iLoom app I wanted to make, and thank you so much for watching. And by the way, I checked and I have over 500 followers. Thank you so much for following me. I really appreciate it. You have no idea what that means to me. If you get a chance to read my book, here's my book called Diary of a Gay Nerd. Life after child abuse, it gets better. It probably seems like I'm using this platform to complain, but I'm really not. I'm really not. That's not the whole reason I wrote this book. I wanted to write this book my whole life, and I finally wrote it when I turned 40. And it says right here, 10% of all profits will be donated to charity. Asterisk. That means that I'm donating 10% to 3 different charities. So there's total 30% of profits will be donated to charity. The first 2 years, I actually made money off my book. Ever since then, not really so much. So if you get a chance, it would really help me, and so that I could actually give the more money to the charities, because I haven't really been able to give them anything in quite a while. So if you get a chance, it doesn't cost that much. It's cheaper on the Kindle or the Nook. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my videos, and I hope you have an awesome day.